Hey all, normally I'd be mumbling away in a good old Unterfränkisch. But today, just for you, I've got an AI speaking in English. Well, because maybe my mumbling isn't everyone's cup of tea. So, sit back and let's see what the AI's got. Today, it's crystal clear communication, all for you.
Hey there. I'm Murphylanga AI, and today, I'm your guide through the details of the ComfyUI workflow. So, fasten up your seatbelts for a thrilling journey into endless possibilities. Alright, folks. Now, let's kick things off by loading up the first workflow. Ready? Let's take a peek at the groupings within this workflow. Get ready to explore the different sections as we navigate through ComfyUI. Alright, let's dive into a section of the workflow that features a brief description in Murphy's charmingly imperfect English. Now, let's briefly explore the section dedicated to loading information stored in an image. I'll provide a more detailed walkthrough later on. In this section, you can enable and control the saving of waypoints. Load images here to configure the control net. Let's delve into the basic settings. Begin by configuring the foundational options. First, set all options in the upscale and high-risk groups to bypass. Murphy's done a bit of tweaking, but for simplicity, we'll skip over that part. Now, let's move on and simply delete this group. Next, let's set all the face optimizer groups to off. Face detailer step 1. Step 2. Face crop. Face swap is already turned off. Let's now transition the noodles into a basic configuration. Get ready for a rootin' tootin' good time. Here, we're consolidating the complete prompting and other settings that you can capture through the pipes. Murphy has already prepared this neatly for us. Let's smoothly move on to the next steps. Here, we can select various stylers, but we'll explore those later. First, let's focus on configuring the essential setting. One of the most important settings is the global seed. Pay attention, it's crucial to keep it fixed. This allows us to add optimizations and upscale step by step as needed. Of course, you can adjust the value as desired. Now, let's move on to the resolution at which the image will be generated. You can choose your custom resolution through custom, but Murphy recommends using the preset ones as SDXL handles them better. Extremely important is the checkpoint selection. If you have multiple, you can use the cool preview feature of the Python OS node. I'll show you how that works. Attention, the checkpoint loader used for generation needs to be selected again here. See how easy it is to choose a preview image? It even works with a JPEG in the same folder. The Free node helps in creating better images, and just like Murphy, we're not exactly sure how it works. However, the default settings work great. If anyone has insights, Murphy would appreciate the information. Here, you can choose CFG, the sampler, and the scheduler. The default settings are suitable for many models. You can choose a standalone VAE here. Set the switch to 1 if you want to use an external VAE. Set it to 2 if you prefer to use the embedded VAE. Now, let's select the refiner model. Here's how you can do it. Some models perform better without a refiner, while others benefit from it. Here, you can configure how the process should run. Simply choose between 1 or 2. The steps for the refiner are automatically calculated using the factor 0.8. Get ready to witness Murphy's stroke of genius in simplifying style selection. Being a Franconian with a knack for less than perfect English, he figured, why not include a handy translator? Stay tuned until the grand finale, where I'll reveal how you can revamp the workflow and ditch the translator to speed up the process. Because, as Murphy always says, who needs perfect language skills when you've got style? Here, you can add or modify additional styles. Don't be shy, I'll show you how it's done. Just be cautious not to confuse the positive and negative settings. You see, it was quite simple, well, most of the time. However, if the node is pinned, collapsing in and out with a gray dot does not work. In this case, you have to use the pull-down menu with the right mouse button. Alright, folks, now it's time for a good old cleanup. Murphy left a bit of a mess in these individual prompt pieces, so let's wipe the slate clean. We'll keep the photo in the positive and drawing in the negative fields, but everything else is getting the boot. Let's tidy things up a bit, shall we?
Hey, what's about text, watermark and signature? Those are keepers, they stay.
Sure. I'm not daft, I'm a savvy AI, after all.
Blah blah, blah blah, blah blah.
Looks like Murphy, in his casual style, forgot to set all the lures to bypass. No biggie, I'll take care of it real quick.
Quick like a fox, clicking around like there's no tomorrow.
Gotcha, Murphy. Just a heads up, I'm quickly demonstrating a couple of alternative paths to the goal here. Hang tight. Perfecto. The hires and upscale groups are on bypass, and the optimizer groups are all set to off. Now is the perfect time to save your first workflow template. Murphy did a great job laying the groundwork, but now it's perfect. Alright, let's dive in. What shall we paint? How about a car? Okay, let's choose a styler. How about old-timer? For the color, dark blue sounds good. And how about throwing in the Golden Gate Bridge in the background, just to spice things up? And don't forget, let's keep the photo at the beginning for that extra touch. It's always nice to have something to show off. Fantastic. Now, for the Clip G prompt, feel free to write complete sentences and embellish a bit. A little bit more details are great. Both I and the image generation AI love a bit of storytelling flair. Using a separate input field for the background has its advantages. Here, Murphy added something cool. You can adjust the weight of both the style and the objects. Just play around with the values and see what happens. All preparations are complete. Let's go. Oh, do you see those red borders? No input is getting through there. But of course, the optimization groups are turned off. So, everything's fine. We can ignore the error message in the window. Of course, we could also disable the preview nodes, then there wouldn't be any error message. Here in the window, you can see how the steps between the main checkpoint and the refiner model have been divided. All done. Now, the SD prompt saver is doing a quick job. Okay, it takes a few seconds, but Murphy thinks the metadata in the image is worth it. I totally get it. But hey, you're in a hurry, you can easily disconnect that to save time. For the first attempt, a cool result. Now, let's spice things up. Currently, there's no difference in the preview panes because everything was set to bypass. Even with just a laptop packing a 3070, it works well, though more quality demands more time. And, with Murphylang's workflow, it still performs admirably. Did you notice? The base image isn't recalculated, it just seamlessly continues. Here, you can leave all the settings as they are for now. If you decide to use the scene fix mode, it can improve the transitions between individual frames. However, if you're using the DPMPP2M SDEGPU sampler, you might not even need it. Here, you can adjust the denoise and scale, but beware, the higher the scale value, the longer it'll take. Of course, you can always cancel if needed. My recommendation? Just leave the values as they are for now. If you crave even more resolution and quality, then go ahead and add the second upscaler into the mix. It starts with a bit of downscaling before performing an upscale to enhance the image. Again, for now, just keep the settings as they are. Of course, feel free to crank up the settings when you have more time. We're familiar with the errors that don't bother us. As you can see here, it calculates 9 individual frames and then assembles them. I'll show you again where you can adjust things while the workflow is running. Alright, while our AI is crunching numbers or whatever it's processing, let's change our prompt. Here, let's get a bit cheeky and see what happens when we turn the photo into a painting. Let's pick a style from a cool painter to add some panache to the image. Alright, I also want to show you the face optimized tools, so let's add a woman to the mix.
Holy moly! Hey, AI buddy, hold on a second. I will turn off the follow workflow settings. Watch and learn, my friend.
Thank you, Master. I completely overlooked that, but look at this unbelievably fantastic photo I conjured up. And now I've got a wild idea for the new prompt. The car stays, and now, picture a warrior woman driving through a Mad Max scene in the desert. We could also include a Nora in the mix. Although, we don't really need it. Let's leave it out. That's how it's done. Here we go, round 2. Yeah, that looks good. There's a little head in the picture. Alright, let's get those noodles draped for the face optimizations. I'll throw in everything right away. We'll skip the face swap, it works, but explaining its installation would be a bit much for now. The workflow is simple, but the installation is quite tricky. I'm going to switch to time-lapse mode now to keep the video from getting too long, and away we go, Lucy. Here, I'll show you again how to set the upscale settings and models. And back on the gas pedal. Alright, let's slow down a bit with the horses. When it comes to face cropping, we should take a closer look. The upscaling here enhances the assembly of the result for a more aesthetically pleasing outcome. Murphy, take a closer look at which model would be best for this. Here, you can use an additional positive and negative prompt. However, the original prompt usually works just fine. Well, looks like we didn't switch, and now our warrior turns into an enchantingly beautiful woman. Let's go ahead and correct that for the next run. Here, you can choose whether you want to create a mask automatically or manually. I'll demonstrate both options. If the process is running, and you haven't created a mask, it might encounter an error. In that case, just create a mask and restart the process. Now it's set to automatic, and the system has detected 2 faces. Murphy, there's room for further optimization here. Okay, let's see how our warrior gets beautified. Alright, cute. I'll stop the process and restart it after switching to a manual mask. The good thing is, everything before this point doesn't need to be recalculated. So, keep the global seed fixed, use the right mouse button and select Open in Mask Editor. Mask the face and save the mask. Check if you have selected manual mask creation with 2, I'll show the noodle draping again quickly. Now we restart the process. As you can see, the generation picks up right where we made changes, saving a lot of time. And here, let's underscore the importance of keeping the seed fixed, as mentioned at the beginning of the explanation. Wow, what an incredible warrior lady she has become. The process is already moving on to the second upscaler. Here, you can tweak various settings. For starters, I recommend keeping Murphy's configurations as they are. As you can see, we're calculating 9 individual images. So, let's proceed. I will enable the time lapse, and I'll stop it just in time to show you how long this process took in real time. Sorry, I forgot to display the window. The second upscaling process took approximately 240 seconds. Here, you can view the original image in the optimized version. Alright, you've seen the key aspects. Now, as promised, I'll show you how to eliminate the translator tool and how adapt it to an only upscaling tool. You can replace the translate nodes with simple text nodes. What's a bit annoying is that Murphy has pinned almost all the nodes. While it has its advantages, it's a bit cumbersome now. I'll have to unpin them first. Alright, now we need to find the right insertion point. Use the Alt key to easily create a copy of the standard node. Here we have the issue with the pinned nodes again, and the gray collapse dot doesn't work there. If needed, use the right mouse button to unpin the collapse. Alright, I've also linked it incorrectly, let me fix it quickly. Yippee! Great! Now, let's delete the translate nodes and save the workflow, you never know when you might need it again. Now, I just loaded the new workflow without translation tools. Now you can work on 2 prompts simultaneously and switch between them. Here you have the option to load images at various points for the control net. We'll simply add a noodle to apply optimizations to an existing image. There might be inconsistencies or issues with the image size, so my recommendation is to use Murphy's in-painting workflow for this. It will automatically handle all calculations, ensuring you won't encounter any problems with any image you choose. I'm showing this exemplarily here, there are no problems with the same image sizes. Also, set the base sampler and refiner groups to bypass, they are not needed. Alright, an example with a completely different image. You'll see how the prompt works, which, of course, can be adjusted before starting the workflow. I'll show you briefly why we appreciate metadata. You can easily read them here if available. Now, I'll speed up the video and pause briefly whenever something interesting comes up. Here you can see how the prompt transforms the image of the beautiful young woman into a warrior. At last, behold the stunning results produced by this powerful workflow. If you've been as captivated as we have, don't forget to show some love, hit that like button and drop a comment below. Your feedback fuels our creative journey. And hey, If you hunger for more mind-blowing content, tell us what sparks your curiosity in the comments. Your support means the world to us. Download links are waiting for you beneath the video. Now, let's build a community together. Hit like, comment, and subscribe for a front row seat to our exciting creative adventures.